In my last video, I talked about the 3 minigames that are being played during a fighting game round. These 3 minigames being neutral, offense, and defense. In this video, I'm gonna focus on the neutral minigame and explain what's going on there more in depth. Keep in mind, this is a true beginner's guide video, so if you're already playing fighting games, you might understand everything I'm going to talk about in this video. As I already said previously, neutral is usually where the round of a fighting game starts, and it is essentially a position where no character has an inherent advantage. The main goal of the neutral game is usually to score a knockdown on the enemy so that you can transition into playing offense. The flip side of that, which is losing neutral, is generally something you want to avoid because it forces you to play defense and therefore makes you lose more rounds. So the general basic game plan of any player in a fighting game is play neutral, score a knockdown from playing it well, and transition into offense and win the game off of it. Obviously, as you can probably tell, neutral is a very impactful part of any fighting game, and playing it is a skill that is very easy to understand, but almost impossible to master. There's a lot of things that factor into playing good neutral, and the most notable being character matchups. You have to consider all the tools that a character has for playing neutral effectively before you can even begin to understand it properly. And any fighting game that you try to learn is going to have at least 20 different matchups. But that's only considering the neutral aspect of a fighting game round, which should give you an idea of how complex this can actually get. Now, on top of that, the matchup is not the only thing that matters for neutral. Another very important aspect to consider in neutral is timing. The same neutral tool can lose or win depending on when you use it, which basically means decision making very much takes into consideration what the enemy is potentially going to do in any given moment. If you use a fireball at the right moment, it becomes a really good neutral tool, but use it with bad timing and you can effectively get destroyed for it. Now, apart from the matchups and timing, there's also unique game mechanics that can be factored in, all depending on the game you play. For example, some games have running, air dashing, double jumping, hopping, hyper hopping, super jumping, sidestepping, spot dodging, armored moves, super armor, rolling, etc. The possibilities are literally endless. Well, as you can see, this is getting very bloated and complex. It can be summarized simply by saying get a knockdown and play offense. However, not all characters need to necessarily play offense after winning neutral. They can just stay in neutral and win games from repeatedly playing and winning the neutral minigame, because they're inherently good at it. In fighting games, we call these characters zoners. Alright, in this replay, we're going to essentially be analyzing how to play a character that is essentially a zoner from neutral without actually always having to commit to offense after getting knocked down and essentially winning the round from neutral. And obviously, I'm talking about Guile here. And Zangief is a character that is not that great essentially at winning neutral, especially against zoners. Obviously, it depends on the matchup and what the character has as a toolset, but we're going to be analyzing this from the perspective of Guile, which his entire game plan is essentially winning the game from neutral and obviously dipping in some offense in there because he also can do that very well. Let's look at the replay from beginning. All right, here we go. Round 1. We have Guile here, obviously starting off the round with one of his best neutral tools, which is the fireball. Gief doing a parry, fireball again, fireball. Gief tries to jump it. It was very successful essentially because he got him to block, even though, as you can see on the right side of the screen, Guile tried to anti-air, but I think he was kind of a bit too late. Gets thrown. Gief tries to play offense, does the reversal, which essentially says get off of me, and plays neutral again. Fireball, poke with a crouching medium kick, anti-air. As you can see, Gief is mainly trying to get a read and skip neutral and get in on offense because he kind of knows that Guile is very good at that, and his tools are essentially not that great against Guile, so this is a not great matchup for Gief, so he kind of has to play by taking more risks. And Guile kind of gets to sit back there, especially if he has a life lead, and just throw things at them. But he does not have to do that. As you can see, he can transition into offense very well. But now that he has a life lead, you can see he basically just backs off there. And as you can see, he basically catches Keith here walking forward too much and essentially gets a big ass punish by trying to zone him, and obviously continues to zone, does the slow fireball for pressure and just walks behind it for a throw. Easy win, as you can see. But this is not always the story. He could basically mess up the timing of anything that he's doing and the round could start something like this. Eve gets in. Damn, the reset. As you can see, this is not looking good for Gal with punish, and the corner dash was amazing, by the way. Alright, goes into offense. Plays really well there. You come back. Perfect parry. Into SPD. That gets perfect parried back. Very scary. Gal does the fireball into dry rush, into enter. That was very powerful. He's burned out though. That was a mistake by Geef. He could have probably crushed that round out by doing a level 2 because he was in burnout, but I don't know if the chip damage would have been enough, to be honest. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, that'll be it for this replay. As you can see, Gal can essentially play neutral and control the game from neutral without having to overextend, and honestly for zoners that is kind of the main game plan because it takes less risk and gets you more wins. Let me drop a like for this. It was a great match. Neutral is a aspect of fighting games which makes them very unique and fun each time you boot them up. It's sort of telling a different story every time you play it. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. If you have any questions to ask, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and see you in the next one. Peace.